fellas. Well, I would have worn one of my Hawaiian shirts of kind of like Tommy Vercetti's, but as you can tell by my coats, seems like Old Man Winter had other ideas. Nevertheless, today marks 1 year since the release of the Trilogy Definitive Edition, and 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 since then, and in its very rough launch, to which even Cyberpunk would look down on on some things have changed and have improved. Others are still could use some tweaking. But be that as it may, I'm going to be going over what worked initially, what has improved since then, and what could still be done, especially for future potential remasters. So let's begin. And with that in mind, of course, even before these ones were officially announced, the idea was enticing a little bit. I mean, I've made no secret of the fact that San Andreas is my all-time favorite PS2 game. Both 3 and Vice City are easily in the top 10. And and laying down the foundation for not just the franchise going forward, but also the open world sandbox genre as we knew it. Which, I mean, with many trying to match its scope and success, a few truly succeeding in it. So, and however, admittedly, there were concerns, but it was the fact that rather than Rockstar North, even their partners Rockstar Leeds, the development was being handled by Grove Street Games, who were, before they got renamed, aimed to this title from War Drum Entertainment, and previously handled mobile versions which were met with mixed reception, and at best. And the fact that they didn't even put out like the full trailer until a month before release, and also had an embargo on the reviews before or the release, also were not very good signs either. I mean, even I'll admit that remastering a game these days is often a crapshoot. It also kind of was helps that like the AI upscaling had some hiccups as well, especially given how the original games were running on renderware, and these remasters were being done with Unreal Engine, two very different ones as well. And I definitely at least saw some of the jokes to the point where I never even bothered buying or even playing these games at launch because of all the bugs. I mean, and well, that, and I was saving for BDSP and Knights of the Republic remaster as well. So there's that. That being said, there were still some positives, even with how shaky the launch was. I mean, when the remastered lighting effects worked, it really worked. Standouts include like the Light District 3, he the the casinos in Las Venturas and San Andreas, and basically any time Vice City is shown at night, in game, like the whole lush neon on lights in that one, especially, almost looked like something out of like a painting or a Duran Duran album cover from that time frame. Um, and also the redesign the aiming systems as well as like the weapon wheel be more like the gunplay in 4 and 5, where the left stick moves your character and right stick aims your weapon, and for both the auto aim and free aim, which makes a lot of missions a lot easier, to be honest. To mean, and for the most part, it helps that the framework that they were building on was solid, and as someone who again admits how much I like the Trilogy in its previous forms, it for the most part did a decent job. I mean, I based on some testimonials. That's not to say that that there wasn't room for improvement. Far from it. While I didn't have as many issues with like the player avatars as some people did, and I do agree with the side characters, just how shaky they appeared. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like Ryder being a notable one with how it looked like he had a bad case of rickets. It's in CJ's absence, as well as some of the NPCs. I said that to be accurate, not insulting, looking like departments of mannequins are left in the sun too long. And even as someone who's known to be very, very much on the side of pro stylized visuals, I will admit that even in the whole some of the characters somehow looked out and moved worse than they did in the original PS2 releases, which I kept on my hard drive because of the whole idea that they were going to be yanking in the original versions from sale, but those who had them could still access them. New players are basically out of luck, and also did not help that they didn't really get rid of some of the elements from the original's code. They immediately deactivated them as Datamize found the infamous hot coffee minigame, which got San Andreas re-rated from an M to an AO until it was removed. Which I won't remember that when it first happened, the infamous Patrick W. Yes. Since then, and I'm currently playing version 1.06 of this trilogy, really focusing on Vice City, and things have improved quite a bit. I mean, like some of the errors, especially in the text wise, been fixed. I mean, it's a bit more stable than it was at launch, and several of the tracks that were previously left out of the music one managed to get reinstated after red tape was cleared with the record companies, which happens sometimes, I'll admit. These characters, these include these definitely include the ones associated with these time period era the games are set, as well as their as the games themselves, which include all the flashback at them in 3, most of Los Santos and San Andreas, and the following in tracks, which include but not limited to in Vice City: Flog Seagulls Iran, Mr. Mister's Broken Wings, Wayne Chun's Dance Hall Days, Kimberly's Keeping Fascination, and Whole Notes Out of Touch. Insert Skinner meme here. And that's not to say there isn't still room for improvements, for future updates. There's still some occasional visual bugs which were not only to this version but also exacerbated from the earlier releases. Nothing too game breaking, but still kind of odd, like how Tommy becoming a ventriloquist when he answers the phone, and when you knock over a street light, it falls through the street. Kind of odd. And also sometimes an inconsistent enemy and driver and driver AI, or moment when the police are kind of like RoboCop on you, and other times they're more like a cat that's also riding a Roomba. Yeah. But for the most part, and also if the prices come down in some cases, as I guess it's playable at the very least, but if you're gonna hold off at holding your stand, and also the same reason why for now they're holding off on doing Red Dead and GTA 4 in this fashion to avoid a repeat of this disastrous launch. So yeah. Fine. Well, for the most part, this remaster has made a lot of improvements. Opens in the year since initially launched. It definitely still has a ways to go. Oh, but on the whole, playing any version of the trilogy is kind of interesting current year. Here, just if not to show how far both the franchise and world. And like I said, playing this in between and stuff like Sonic Frontiers as well as upcoming Scarlet Violet, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the franchise goes from here. For the record, I did not really read the leaks of 6, but if some of these things are true, definitely will keep an eye on that. Anyway, that'll be all for now. I definitely hope you're all well in any case, and as the Scarlet and Violet launch gets ever closer, I will see you all again very soon. And so, take care, everyone. Hmm.